Hi, 8th grade. I hope you are doing well. Today we will be in Proverbs 14. And hello to anybody else that has chosen to watch this video. Thank you. Let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you that we have the ability to be in your word. We thank you for your protection, your guidance and direction. We just pray that you'd be with all those that are not feeling well, and keep those that are feeling well healthy and strong. I just pray that you'd be with me as I lead these 8th graders and these people through Proverbs 14. And I just pray that everything that I say would be honoring and glorifying you and would be your words and not mine. Pray all these things in your name. Amen. Okay. Proverbs 14 is a little long, but it's okay. We'll get through it and hopefully learn a few things along the way. Proverbs 14, starting at verse 1. The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears it down. So that's saying, like, a wise person, like, they're gonna do things for themselves. They're gonna work hard and they're gonna get things done, whether that's building a house, whether that's saving money, working hard for something. Foolish people end up tearing down their own stuff, ruining their own things, essentially. He whose walk is upright fears the Lord, but he whose ways are devious despises him. So, those that, we've heard this before, those that their walk is upright, they fear the Lord. But those that are devious and aren't, like, they're being sneaky and not going on the right path, they despise the Lord. A fool's talk brings a rod to his back, but the lips of the wise protect him. So, a foolish person that's just saying things and blah, 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 and, if it's hurtful or whatever, like, there's going to be a consequence for what they're saying, for what they're doing. But those that are wise, their words are going to bring good things. And a lot of times, wisdom is just to be quiet. They're going to choose their words carefully. Verse 4. Where there is no oxen, the manger is empty. But from the strength of an ox comes an abundant harvest. So a manger would be like a food trough, or a food container. So where there's no oxen, like, there's not crops. There's not crops being taken care of. Now, granted, most people aren't using oxen anymore, but where there's not a person that's willing to work, where there's not a hard-working farmer, there's going to be a shortage of food. A truthful witness does not deceive, but a false witness pours out lies. The mocker seeks wisdom and finds none, but knowledge comes early to the discerning. So, a lot of times, somebody that's mocking, they might be seeking the truth, they might be seeking knowledge and wisdom, but if they're not willing to listen, if they're too busy making fun of people, they're not going to receive wisdom. But knowledge comes easily to those that are seeking it, those that are willing to listen and just be quiet. Stay away from a foolish man, for you will not find knowledge on his lips. The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways, but the folly of fools is deception. So, thinking, wisdom of those that are prudent, of those that are, seeking knowledge, is to think through the things that they do. But the folly of fools, like, they're deceived. They fall into pits. It's bad. Fools mock at making amends for sin, but goodwill is found among the upright. Foolish people, there are people that don't think that there's anything as sin. They never see themselves in the wrong. They never see themselves as one needing correction, and that's what they're talking about there. But then there are those people that are wise and understand, hey, I make mistakes and I need to learn from them and I need to grow from them and I need to, seek forgiveness out. Verse 10. Each heart knows its own bitterness, and no one else can share its joy. Like, we know who we have bitterness towards. We know, like, where our bad thoughts are from. And when we're bitter, when our hearts are turned away from God, we don't have joy to share. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to death. So, like, the way of sin, just the simple ways that humans believe. Humans, like, if we were in control, we would just end up dead. Even in laughter, the heart may ache, and joy may end in grief. It's to say that not every moment, not every second is this happy-go-lucky thing. Like, you can have good times with family, and then there be a quarrel or something, and that could cause grief. Or you could have good times with a loved one, and then the next day they're not on this earth, and that can cause grief. The faithless will be fully repaired. The faithless will be fully repaid for their ways, and the good man rewarded for his. A simple man believes anything, but a prudent man gives thought to his steps. A simple man believes anything, but a prudent man gives thought to his steps. A wise man fears the Lord and shuns evil, but a fool is hot-headed and reckless. A quick-tempered man does foolish things, and a crafty man is hated. So, if you're, like, really, really angry, and you're really angry in that moment, when you get your anger to a certain level, you're going to stop thinking. And so your actions are going to be foolish, and you are going to do things that you would regret or wouldn't normally do. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. Evil men will bow down in the presence of good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor are shunned even by their neighbor, but the rich have many friends. A lot of times, when poor people are around us, this is true. We don't pay attention to them. If you see a poor person on the sidewalk, a lot of times you'll go out of your way to further your distance from them. But those that have clean clothes and look like they have money and things like that, like, those are the people that have friends and have, people that will listen to them and that kind of thing. He who despises his neighbor sins, but blessed is he who is kind to the needy. He who despises his neighbor sins, but blessed is the one who is kind to the needy. In this time, we're going to be held accountable for how we react. How we react to others, how we react to the situation. Are we listening to the government? Are we obeying? Are we helping those that we can? Are we just sitting there saying, sorry, stinks to be you. Just move on and figure it out. We're going to be held accountable for each of those decisions. So, it's an important thing to remember. Do not those who plot evil go astray, but those who plan what is good find love and faithfulness. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Working hard with your hands and doing something brings in money. Just sitting there and talking and, yeah, I'm going to do this, yeah, I'm going to do that, and never acting on it, never doing anything, that does not bring money. That does not bring anything. It doesn't bring anything that's needed. Okay, verse 24. The wealth of the wise is their crown, but the folly of fools but the folly of fools yields folly. Just a second, I'll be right back. Okay, this is part 2 of Proverbs Chapter 14. Let's see if we can finish this up. It's been interesting having 3 little ones and figuring things out. Verse 24. The wealth of the wise is their crown, but the folly of fools yields folly. A truthful witness saves lives, but a false witness is deceitful. He who fears the Lord has a secret fortress, and for his children it will be a refuge. He who fears the Lord has a secret refuge. We have refuge in the Lord. We have protection and guidance and direction. And think about it. In the future, that's going to be so good for your children, and just in how you'll know from the Bible how to treat them and how to love them and be there for them and guide and direct them, and just, we'll be there for each other. And it's just a great thing to think about. Okay. Verse 27. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, returning a man from the snares of death. A large population is a king's glory, but without subjects, a prince is ruined. A patient man has great understanding, but a quick-tempered man displays folly. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. He who opposes the poor shows contempt for their maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. When calamity comes, the wicked are brought down, but even in death the righteous have a refuge. I'll read that again. When calamity comes, we're going through calamity, the wicked are brought down. Okay, calamity, difficulty, challenges, war, what we're going through right now. Those that choose not to follow the Lord, those that are not walking in his ways, it's gonna be harder for them than the righteous that are clinging to the Lord, that have him to go to. Verse 33. Wisdom reposes the heart of the discerning, and even among fools she lets herself be known. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to all people. A king delights in a wise servant, but a shameful servant incurs his wrath. So, those that are walking in the way that they should, those that are seeking out the Lord, those that are living a life that brings Him honor and glory, people are going to see that. That is going to be a blessing for them. It's going to help your relationships. It's going to do a lot more than just keep us on the straight and narrow. It's going to affect those around you. They're going to start behaving in the way that they should because they're seeing you behave in that way. Those in authority are going to sit there and say, yeah, that's a good person. I like them. And you're going to be able to build up relationships, and just things are going to go a lot better if you're choosing the right path than if you were to choose something different. So, something to think about. That is it for today. That's the end of Proverbs 14, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye. God bless.